live from Chuck Chansey Park this evening as Fresno FC play host to El Paso Locomotive, a top 6 matchup in the USL Western Conference. Welcome to the commentary of this one. Chris Whittingham alongside the former Man United goalkeeper Gary Bailey for this one. Gary, both these teams coming off of matchups against San Antonio. Fresno victorious last Saturday night by 3-2. El Paso midweek travels drawing 0-0 with San Antonio as we get to our Onakar Fresno matchup. Players to watch, starting first with Jamal Johnson for Fresno.
You mentioned the San Antonio match. Jamal getting 2 goals in that game, and that takes his tally this season to 6 in total. A brilliant performance there by the 34-year-old. Keep going, Jamal Johnson.
The Manchester-born winger doing very well for Fresno. Meanwhile, Jerome Kiesewetter for El Paso Locomotive joined second in goals in the whole of USL.
Yeah, 10 to his name, just sitting behind Kavan Freitas. That's a brilliant performance for the season, and no wonder El Paso have had this fantastic start to this year, and it's mainly due to that man up front, Jerome Kiesewetter.
And our matchup of the game is brought to you by Onakar Fresno. Onakar Fresno, drive with style as we now get to our matchup, or excuse me, our road to victory presented by Travel Shop. Gary Bailey, your keys to this one.
Well, for Fresno, don't stop scoring. 6 in the last 3. You're on a good run. Want to keep banging those goals in the back of the net. And for El Paso, well, keep that defense tight. The best defense in the Western Division. 13 goals only conceded in 16. And when you keep a defense tight, it gives you a great chance of winning a match.
And for El Paso, yet to lose away from home on this campaign, and that tremendous goals conceded record. A big reason why. Fantastic matchup on offer tonight from the Chuck Chansey Park. Fresno FC playing host to El Paso Locomotive, and it's next. Izmir Pekmic, our match day referee, leading both teams out onto the field. Fresno FC off a win in their last match against San Antonio, take on El Paso Locomotive, who, until their last 2 matches, were on a tremendous run of form with 6 wins from 9. With a draw and a loss in their last 2. So we get to our starting lineups presented by El Mexicano. And for Fresno FC, just the one change at the back is Mickey Daly comes in for Sam Strong.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one change, but they've plenty of goals coming from this side. Chavez up front has got 3, Lawal has got 5, and Jamal Johnson, of course, got 6, and even Basulovic on the other side is 3. So expect plenty of goals, we hope and trust, in the match tonight.
And meanwhile, for Mark Lowry's El Paso Locomotive, 3 changes, 3rd match in a week. And so they make a change in almost each level of the field, including at the back with Danny Navarro coming in.
Yes, he comes in for Drew Becky, and then Sebastian Contreras for Herrera, and Josue Aaron Gomez for Resende.
And Jerome Kiesewetter will lead the line. I mentioned him in the open, scoring 10 times, but Contreras, that creative puller of the strings, having 4 assists on the campaign. Described by Mark Lowry as having a magical left foot, as it will be Fresno FC in the dark blue, El Paso in the white. Just about ready to go here from the Chuck Chansey Park. Fresno FC only lost twice on the campaign. El Paso have yet to lose on their travels. 3 wins, 4 draws, and no losses away from home. Deliberating on getting this one started. Allowing a few more fans to trickle in. Should be a fun one tonight from Chuck Chansey Park as Jamal Johnson gets us started. Fresno FC and El Paso Locomotive each coming off of matches against San Antonio FC, with El Paso playing in the week away from home, drawing 0-0. Meanwhile, Fresno a weekend ago winning by 3-2 was a big win in the judgment of Adam Smith, the manager for Fresno FC, as he thought his side desperately needed a win after just a few too many draws off 3 draws and a loss in a 4-match run without a victory. They get the goals that they needed on the night by 3-2 over San Antonio. A brace for Jamal Johnson. Jaime Chavez giving Fresno the victory, and now looking to build off of it.
With a few early touches there, but a vital match for both sides, because a win for either of them will take them into 2nd position, just behind Phoenix Rising in the West. I think for Fresno, going from 6th position to 2nd will really put their season in full gear. El Paso have had a fantastic start to the season, and if they win, they'll go from 3rd to 2nd. It's only 1 place, but they'll only be 2 points behind Phoenix Rising. So a lot for both sides to play for tonight. 2 excellent teams, and both capable of doing fantastic things this season. So can't wait for this match to really get underway. It is underway, of course, but to really get started with a goal, an excitement, a save, I think we're going to have plenty to enjoy this evening.
This ball is hit long for Kudus Lawal. Here come for the goalkeeper, Ketterer. Our injury report brought to you by Physio Motion. Nothing to report for El Paso. Meanwhile, Seth Moses, the right back, continues to miss out with a foot injury. Also played as a right-sided midfielder for Fresno FC.
In fact, talking to Adam Smith a couple of days ago, he said losing the midfield destroyer, as he describes him, Seth Moses, was a huge blow. He really values what Seth Moses brings to the team. And as big a loss as it is, then obviously it's an opportunity for others to step into his place and try and provide a similar level of ability.
As there will be a free kick now for El Paso, as James Kiffey on that left-hand side will take it short with Richie Ryan, a key figure in the center of the park, the Irishman. It's a distribution engine, as it does seem early like Fresno are going to high press this El Paso side. Well, one there by Chavez. And now coming forward, Kurimoto. Forward ball there at a central midfield is Mark Lowry, waving on the press there of Josue Aaron Gomez. Sent long. Well won there by Fox at the back. Charging on here, Ali Hadjic. Lovely 1-2 there with Lawal. Low crosses through, cut out by Andrew Fox at the near post. And out for the corner.
Good early pressure from Fresno here, and obviously after that recent win over San Antonio, they're coming out firing. It's a home game in front of their wonderful supporters, and as mentioned, a chance to jump right up behind Phoenix Rising in the Western Division. So much at stake here this afternoon. You can see it in their play, the positive nature of these first few minutes.
It will be Ali Hadjic to send in the corner, stinging through, got something on at the near post, didn't he, Vasilovic? Comes all the way through for Chavez. We'll take a nick off a El Paso defender. It will remain a throw. As Fresno apply the early pressure. With that El Paso play does invite pressure. They like to distribute from the back amongst the defenders, and I think you're starting to see opposition in this league really come onto them and make life difficult, as there is offside, as you see the frustration there from Adam Smith at the bottom of your picture.
Yet having said that, El Paso with the best defense in the Western Conference, 13 and 16. And they're very difficult to break down. They might invite pressure, but they know how to deal with it. But I think Fresno are catching them at a time when they've no wins in 2, which is not exactly a disaster. And to be fair, they lost to Las Vegas Lights. They really had a ton of opportunities, but there must be question marks in the El Paso players. You know, they haven't won for 2 games. And for Fresno, it's a great chance to be playing a team that otherwise this season has shown very few weaknesses.
Well, laid off there by Contreras, who attempts to slide in the run of Rebellon. One back El Paso. Here's Ryan. Shouldered off it as Chavez is really applying that tough pressure. Chavez and Ryan were teammates at Miami FC. As the opportunities on here for Gomez to try and hit the cross. It's a poor delivery for Josue Aaron Gomez, and out for the goal kick.
Yeah, it is a poor delivery. You expect more early on in the game, so perhaps you just didn't quite judge it. But from there, if you can bend it away from the goalkeeper and put it on the edge of the 6-yard box, it can be a real opportunity for a striker to come in and get on the end of that.
There's Mark Lowry, the young manager. Last couple of years with Jacksonville Armada. First in NASL and last year in NPSL. A few of his players with him. In charge of this expansion side, and a few players with connection to the ex-Jacksonville manager.
What is he, 33 years of age?
Yes.
That is very young, but credit to him that at that age he can still produce such a wonderful playing team as El Paso have been this season. And if he can do that at 33, I wonder what he'll go on to achieve in the world of football.
Took advantage of an opportunity, Mark Lowry, in 2016. Former U.S. men's national team goalkeeper Tony Miola was in charge of Jacksonville Armada, but was sacked fairly early in the season. Lowry took over as an interim and did enough to hold on to the job for the next couple of years. Now given the opportunity to build an expansion club with El Paso Locomotive. And fair play, in the top 3 in the Western Conference. One there by James Kiffey. One-time USL player in Sacramento, Reno, and Charlotte. A free kick given away there by Ellis Hayden, a bit too aggressive in trying to win the ball back.
He's saying he didn't do anything. It was a player who kicked him, the El Paso player who kicked him. And let's have a look at it again and see what Ellis Hayden does here. Well, he puts his foot out. You're asking for trouble there, actually. If you go for the block, then it is possible for someone trying to clear the ball to hurt themselves. So I think correct decision from the ref.
He thought the slipping action was caused by Gomez making contact with the ball and then going over it, but we'll play on through James Kiffey. We'll see the free kicks will be taken short, and Fresno appear to have their tactics well sorted out. Make life difficult for them to pass out. Nick Ross able to play out of it. Contreras wanting the run of Gomez, instead cutting onto his right. Well done there by Contreras, but the outside of the boot ball, not the right idea, and I think Contreras wanted Kiesewetter to make the run.
He did. He was knocking it into space for Kiesewetter, but you also have to look and see the run begin before you play the ball. That was more a hopeful pass. But just noticing the high pressure from Fresno there, and maybe that's a concern for Mark Lowry, that his team are playing out against a high press. And if you lose possession near your box, you can easily turn over and you can get shots on target against your goalkeeper. So I want to see how this pans out.
Ball here by Jamal Johnson, trying to slide in the run there, Basulovic. But well cleared by El Paso. There's a man down in the penalty area. Doesn't look like Lawal went down.
Knocked to the side of the head, was it? Adam Smith perhaps asking for a free kick or not. Was there an elbow to the head? Difficult to know, and of course difficult for referees. Sometimes we get the possibility of seeing a replay and having a close look at a referee gets one look and has to make an immediate decision.
Especially when it's away from the ball. He's not involved in the action there. It was Johnson playing in Vasilovic. Johnson doing well to turn around Rebellon, who puts the tackle in. And it is a corner. Even the El Paso players, or rather the Fresno players, thought that it was a goal kick, but happy to earn the corner, which looks like Emir Ali Hadjig will take.
As always, a good set piece into the danger area, and it gives your strikers a big central defender something to go for.
And marking for El Paso as it's lofted towards the back post. Going down to the penalty area, Jaime Chavez. Oh, been a very soft award there. And the referee just allowing play to continue. Now, Gomez trying to win the ball, and it's actually going to be charging through Omar Salgado. Charging, he's in on goal. Omar Salgado, tremendous save. Ball is still out of the back post. Kiesewetter was arriving, but it rolled out for the corner first. Great chance for the local bull, Omar Salgado, to get in the goals. But CJ Cochran doing well to deny.
Great save from the goalkeeper. Look at the acceleration of that big man. That's amazing pace and a fantastic stretch from CJ there to block that. But for a big man who's, what, 6'2" and thereabouts, he left those defenders for dead. Absolutely brilliant from Salgado.
It's the first ever signing for the club. Doing very well to get in behind. He's on 2 goals for the year. Still a bit unlucky that that wasn't his third. As the delivery will be in from Kiffy towards the near post. Arriving there was Ross, came all the way through. Might still come. It's a lovely take and a better save.
Fresno, let's hear for CJ Cochran.
Strike, and CJ Cochran again up to the challenge.
Brilliant, brilliant save. That has got to be up for save of the week, if not save of the month. Absolutely stunning. Navarro has smacked that, and it's a wonderful, wonderful strike. But have a look at the goalkeeper. How he gets to this, I have no idea. His arm goes up and stretches high and tips that over. That's hit with power as well. Absolutely brilliant save.
Kiffy again to take the corner. This time to the edge of the 6-yard area. Initial contact from a blue shirt. Needs to come here for Johnson. Settled by Richie Ryan. Kiffy. Trying to hit the cross, plays it off of Ellis Hayden. And a roll out for another El
Corner
Paso
kick
corner.
for El Paso.
I just wonder what the El Paso players feel. They think there should be 1, if not 2 goals up already. But for such important saves from CJ Cochran, absolutely brilliant from the keeper. But a concern that they were able to get those 2 shots on target. Poor defending perhaps from Fresno.
Kiffy already 2 assists on the year and has hit all the corners. Delivered to the edge of the 18-yard box, excuse me. And Rebellon strike well off target.
An unmarked Rebellon, so don't want to pick on the Fresno defense too much, but a little bit too easy to have that strike, even if it wasn't a good strike. And maybe time for a couple of the defenders there for Fresno to have a little word between themselves and say, hey, let's make sure we keep it sharp and tight at the back. Our goalkeeper saved us this time, but you can't expect him to save us every time.
CJ Cochran, the early hero, came on loan from Nashville a year ago, but a full signing. Hasn't really been a regular feature. It was from the trust of Adam Smith.
And guess what? I think he's extended that trust. And for Mark Lowry there, he's thinking, well, what do we have to do to beat the goalkeeper? Through one-on-one, he makes that save. A fantastic volley near the top corner, he makes that save. It just shows you how good El Paso are. They've been defending deep, and suddenly they're on the attack and create 2 great chances.
Zach Ellis Hayden down this right-hand side. Trying to hit the cross. It's into the penalty area for Jamal Johnson. On to his right, Jamal Johnson. Trying to pin one towards that back post, but nobody there. And Logan Ketterer watching it out of play.
Just thinking back to that chance for Omar Salgado, one-on-one with CJ Cochran. How quick was he in? What a good player he is. If you're that height and you're good in the air and you're quick on the ground, I just wonder how long he stays in the USL before an MLS team comes along, because there he is with the ball. What a player.
Funny you mentioned.
Oh.
He was the #1 overall pick in the 2011 MLS Super Draft to Vancouver. Had a career in Vancouver and also with Tigres in Mexico. On loan twice. Struggled to find a run in the team, but chance to play for your local club and certainly impressed.
Well, lucky El Paso that he's a local boy.
Now Gomez and El Paso the ones attempting to apply the pressure. Forces the long ball there from Cochran. Lawal able to settle it down. There's Vasilovic. Clear at Fox, not the most convincing. Low in there by Ellis Hayden. Throw in for Fresno.
Just watch the ball. It does bump a little bit on the ground. Difficult for some of the players to control the ball and pass it.
Normally it's the bits where the baseball infield would be that would be most difficult, but it does seem like a bit bumpy elsewhere on the park. Ali Hadjic playing on for Del Campo. Slided through well, intercepted there by Richie Ryan, but given away. A chance on here for Fresno. Vasilovic dragging his shot wide.
Yeah, it was well wide in the end. There was a little moment there from Vasilovic. We thought he was going to add to the 3 goals he scored already this season, but in the end, didn't even need Ketra to make a dive. He just watches it. Oh, he actually does dive. He makes sure it goes wide. In the end, it was a couple of yards wide. Didn't give the goalkeeper too many problems, but again, a good start from Fresno, nice and positive. And yet, to be fair, the 2 best chances have fallen to the visitors El Paso.
See El Paso trying to play out of the back. Mark Lowry still encouraging it, despite the fact that the goalkeeper has given away a corner.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of goalkeepers trying to play out of the back too often. I get it when it's on, but forcing it and taking risks, I'm not a fan of it. And yet, a lot of managers insist. So, they're obviously prepared that once in a while they will concede a goal. Obviously feel that the upside is worth more.
Ali Hadjic to send in the corner towards the back post, arriving Del Campo, able to get to it, but a wild header in the end out of play. Again playing out, short for Rebellon. And we'll go again. See Fresno are certainly alert to this happening. They have 4 blue shirts in your picture. Taken down there by Contreras, who tries to slide it towards Ryan, but given away. Paso have done well on a counterattack and on a corner. The attempt to play out of the back is not going great so far. Ellis Hayden. Up there by Kurimoto, but one back by El Paso Locomotive and going down. Kiesewetter, free kick for the visitors.
Kurimoto there giving away the free kick, and it allows El Paso to bring all their players forward and get everything set up maybe for a long ball into the box. They were doing so well, Fresno. And free kick conceded changes everything, changes the flow of the game.
Take the free kick short. Fully committed to their playing style. Back by Fox, who had his heel clipped. Trying to play down the line there, Kiffy. Couple tackles going in, and Ellis Hayden earning the free kick for Fresno. It's the first ever meeting between these 2 clubs. El Paso new into USL, Fresno in their 2nd season. Chance on here, Kurimoto trying to find the right opportunity, lays it off for Chavez, his strike straight into the defender. Paso trying to get it clear. Trying to win it back, Salgado, stumble in the penalty area, now Rebellon with work to do. Getting it clear and trying to play it to the run of Kiesewetter.
A bit of scrambling going on by El Paso in defense, and you always get the sense that just one mistake and Fresno will be in, but they seem to have got through the high press so far in this game. It seems to be very, very risky at the back for El Paso, and yet, once again, they've got the best defense in the Western Conference. Only 13 goals in 16.
Towards Gomez. Couldn't get something on it.
So clearly El Paso don't give much away, but they just don't look very comfortable in the early part of this game. Maybe that's just credit to Fresno putting on a very good high press.
I do wonder as well, as the league starts to recognize what El Paso do, if they might have more ideas for how to stop it. But for an expansion club to be third in the table, it's pretty impressive. Really drawing good crowds as well.
It certainly is. I mean, Adam Smith was telling us this week how tough it was for him to put Fresno together last season, and how he's built on this season. He's strengthened his squad, and he really feels the team are in a good position to make a good run at the playoffs. And it certainly are, as we say again, a win for Fresno tonight puts him in second spot. But for El Paso to be in this position already, third with a chance to go second, with a draw or a win here this evening, is a fantastic start to the season, and great credit to Mark Lowry. But you're right, you're an unknown quantity. Once teams start to work you out and they figure out what your weaknesses are, then you'll really be tested.
Well taken by Contreras, the Argentinian, played in the lower leagues in South America, also a Venezuelan champion with Zamora. Tackles coming in there from Basulovic, Ryan, and Gomez. Contreras got a rare rest in midweek, first time not starting for Mark Lowry this season. The fixture congestion. It's given away there by Fresno, and now Kiesewetter trying to get the play going quickly. Kiesewetter, who scored multiple goals in 4 matches this year, including a run of 3 straight games with a brace, as Contreras will slide in the run of Kiffy. First time delivery is towards the back post. Salgado is waiting for it at the header. Well won there by Elijah Martin. Now Pasulovic try and hit on the counter for Fresno. Jamal Johnson playing in Martin. Put in there by Omar Salgado, but Fresno stay on it. Edge of the penalty area. Lawal, now Ellis Hayden trying to dink the cross through. Ali Hadjic and Ellis Hayden unmarked, back post header! Opening goal, or rather, offside flag up against Jaime Chavez. There is indeed the confirmation of the decision. Jaime Chavez had drifted too far and behind.
He had it all look too easy, didn't it? He was on his own and he had time and space, but good finish from Jaime Chavez. Great header. And a little warning perhaps to El Paso that crosses coming in here are going to give them a few problems from Fresno.
Strong sliding tackle to win the ball back for Fresno FC. Jamal Johnson now through the area, again towards Chavez, but well cleared there by Navarro at the near post. So just under a bit of pressure. See the intensity from Mark Lowry in his technical area. Shouting instructions the whole match. Kurimoto comes from Honda FC in the Japan Football League. One back here by El Paso through Gomez.
Good high press from El Paso, and it results in a turnover of possession.
Now Contreras trying to cut onto his left. Power in the strike. It's straight at Cochran.
Yeah, this time comfortable for Cochran, not like the first 2 opportunities where he had to make brilliant saves to keep Fresno on level pegging. That one very comfortable, but lots of white and light blue shorts in that half, pressurizing Fresno. Is exactly what Fresno have been doing to El Paso. So very similar sort of tactics from both sides.
Ellis Hayden. Hit there by Ali Hadjic, but Rebellon had it covered. Up for a throw-in. Fresno 3-1 at home. 6 to the table, but more of those being wins rather than draws. Ellis Hayden down the right-hand side. Came off him last for the throw. Difficult run of games as well, coming up to an away visit to Sacramento Republic. Mexico United as well, one of the standout sides in the USL this season.
I think one of the reasons that perhaps there's too many draws and not enough wins. Adam Smith telling us that he was really sort of frustrated by the late goals they've conceded in previous games. 92nd minute against Portland Timbers 2, 79th minute against OKC, and 123rd minute versus Sacramento in the Open Cup.
Yeah.
So he just feels if they get a little bit of luck, or perhaps concentrate harder in those last few minutes, they can turn draws into wins.
Now going forward through Chavez, like Kurimoto, a free kick for El Paso, the only USL Championship side that lost to USL League One opposition in the third round of the Cup. Losing to forward Madison. Ryan just trying to flick on towards Kiesewetter, shoved off it. The referee will give him another free kick.
Must admit, if I was El Paso, I'd want to see Kiesewetter up on the sort of centre backs. Such a wonderful scorer of goals. You'd want him to be there, and you want to be peppering balls into him as often as possible and giving him a chance to finish them off. 10 goals this season. And if you give him service, he'll deliver the goals, I'm sure of that.
A couple of players making runs, but it's Kiffy spotted on this near side. Doing well to get around Ellis Hayden. Kiffy now under his right to have a go. Took a deflection. Well defended there by Fresno, but chance looked on for a moment for Kiffy.
Certainly did. Brilliant bit of skill. Have a look here. He nutmegs him there, Ellis Hayden. He then comes in on his right. If he'd have gone far post, it all opened up for him. Instead, he went for the near post and it got blocked.
Now Gomez trying to hit the cross it straight at Cochran. Thought for a moment he played it around Ellis Hayden, but straight on nutmeg. Mickey Daly doing well to get in the way of the shot.
See that bounce of the ball there, goes straight over Jaime Chavez's foot. It's an even bounce, and it's a test for the keepers. Players rather have a look there as it bounced along. You can see it. It hops up and down, so you've really got to watch the ball. As I said, it's going to be a test for the keepers, because if you misjudge the ball as a keeper, it can go right over you into the back of the net, and that applies to pass backs as well. So it's a case of really having to concentrate there.
Kiffy playing the run of Gomez. Making his first start for El Paso tonight. On loan from FC Juarez in Mexico. Club that El Paso are trying to do some business with on the other side of the Mexican border. Fresno, the ones trying to play out of the back. Well, for a moment.
Commentator's curse. It's a first long ball.
Now Lawal just trying to ward off the challenge. He goes down, it's on the edge of the penalty area, and it's going to be yellow as well for Daniel Navarro. Dangerous as well, as that tackle went all the way inside. Eventually, Lawal found falling forward.
That's well held up by Lawal. That's absolutely brilliant here. Navarro says he's being held. Have a look here. He's doing, Navarro's got him around the leg there. That's without doubt a foul. You're right, it's just right on the edge of the box.
Now, Fresno really a decent opportunity from this. You imagine Jamal Johnson might want it. Too bad Juan Pablo Caffa is not available. He would certainly love a strike from this sort of range. He's on the bench.
Oh yeah, what a lovely player he is. What a magical left foot he's got. We might see him later in the game. But this is close enough to give the keeper all sorts of problems.
Now then. Jamal Johnson to measure it up. His strike goes into the wall. But it takes a deflection. Work to do here for El Paso. Kiffy trying to get something on it. And instead, a body in the way from the wall. As Fresno have earned the corner.
I guess for El Paso, a corner is generally easier to deal with than a free kick, so they'll feel they've diminished the threat. For Fresno, it's another set piece, another opportunity at least to see if they can get a crack on goal. Got some big players, Fresno, like the Mickey Dailies and Del Campos. A good ball in that box. Just gives them a half a chance to get an effort on goal.
It'll be Ali Hadjic to take the corner. Sent that sort of delivery in every time. This time lofted towards the back post and well tracked there by Logan Ketterer. Joins from Columbus Crew. Started every match for El Paso.
It was too easy for the keeper, wasn't it? Lofted high and inside that 6-yard box. Keeper's going to come and catch that every day.
Salgado now with back to goal, just trying to hold the ball up for El Paso. Dangerous ball there from Nick Ross, putting his fellow central midfielder Ryan under pressure, but one back. Rebellon. Kiesewetter. Touch a bit heavy, but kept. Contreras now felt the pressure, and able to run through it. Trying to slide it in behind towards Gomez, but well read there by Del Campo. Ellis Hayden. Mickey Daly. First ever signing for Fresno. Second season with the club. Sulovic. Ellis Hayden taken down well, measuring the cross through the penalty area, but well cut out there by Fox at the near post. Lofted in there. Kiffy. Sulovic winning it back. Trying to poke it through towards Ali Hadjic. Tackle came through Richie Ryan there from Kurimoto, but Fresno FC maintaining. Sulovic now to hit the cross. Going down the wall in the penalty area. Referee not interested. Jamal Johnson. This is a possession here for Fresno.
This is hard work for Fresno. They can't break down this El Paso side. It's so well organized. And in fact, it was Coach Adam Smith who said these two teams are very similar, both well organized, both good in defense. And they sort of seem to be matching each other punch for punch, with the exception, of course, of those two chances for El Paso, which, but for CJ Cochran, would have been scored. Two great chances. Other than that, you can't seem to pick much between the two teams, and they seem very similar in the way they play, the way they press. But again, El Paso have created two fantastic chances, whereas Fresno's efforts haven't been as clear-cut.
Corner kick for El Paso.
It will be Kiffy over the corner after Kiesewetter let it run and force the defense. It's Gomez who goes down. Chance could still be on for Gomez. Deal for the penalty. Now turning Ross and Ryan. Towards that left-hand side. Taken down here by Kiffy. That Mark Lowry was surprised to find available in USL after recovering from an injury. The left back. That's really good with USL experience. Now charging forward Martin. Straight out to this right-hand side for Jamal Johnson, who finds himself in space. Switching flanks, left-footed delivery, in towards Chavez, the header came in. And going wide there from Jaime Chavez. Decent effort.
Let's have a look at it again. Jamal Johnson is always a threat out wide, puts a decent ball in. Is it Lual who actually gets on the end of it, but he gets in late and it comes over a bunch of bodies and he makes contact but can't aim it into the corner and doesn't bother the keeper at all, Logan Ketchup. Once again, good effort from Fresno, just not got the quality on the final header, but they certainly are threatening.
Dangerous bounces there at the back for El Paso. Again, just about surviving. Now Ross for Kiesewetter was expecting Rebellon in that space, but in between he and Salgado. sets on Chansey Park in Fresno. Keeping an eye on the live table. Paso, the draw in the live table will actually move up to second. As Phoenix lead Portland Timbers 2 by a goal to nil. Austin Bold leapfrogging Fresno after a 5-0 victory earlier today, ahead on the wins tiebreaker. Of course, this match will be changing. The wall, going to slide it through for his strike partner, Chavez. Now Gomez. For Adam Smith to have two strikers that he likes. Certainly a change from a year ago where he struggled to find options in attacking areas, and I think he quite likes this 4-4-2 setup.
Yeah, that's why he feels that they're going to not just get into the playoffs, but actually do something when they get there. And certainly a win today and going into second, depending, of course, on the other results, would give all Fresno fans and the players and everyone involved with the club a huge belief that this could be their season.
Johnson, slide in Martin. Martin didn't want to get the touch around the defender. The cross is in, cut out by Daniel Navarro, but only as far as Ali Hadjic. Done there by Rebellon to get the better of Martin, who just has a tug at the shirt and gives away a free kick. Quickly for Omar Salgado. Working around defenders and referees alike, and now Salgado afforded far too much space. Can slide in Contreras and eventually does. Left-footed clip towards the back post. But Cochran can track it and catch it.
And Salgado, once again, he's got this burst of pace. Nobody could catch him until he got to the edge of the box, and then a poor cross from inside the box, and the moment just died. But Salgado, once again, very impressive.
Johnson had to have a left-footed hit, and now it's Ketterer with the heroics at the back. Tremendous save from the El Paso keeper. Jamal Johnson out of nothing.
Jamal Johnson scored 2 goals in the last match against San Antonio. Let's rip with this one. Absolutely flies. Nice height for the goalkeeper, Ketterer, but a good save. Palms it away from danger. Let's have a look at it from behind and see it there. The goalkeeper does well, gets across there, pushes the ball away from any, sometimes keepers knock it down to the danger area, pushes it away to safety, and now he's got to deal with a corner kick.
From Emir Ali Hadjic, off into the penalty area. 3 arriving on the back post. Daly, the closest to it, will come here for Lawal. Salgado leaping, and Lawal just smacking it back in and out of play.
Well, perhaps El Paso showing why they have the best defensive record in the West. With a very good goalkeeper, is difficult to beat. They've got players who get behind the ball and close down spaces and make it very, very difficult to get decent efforts on goal. Just conceding 13 in 16 matches is a very, very decent defensive performance, and yet they still try and play up from the back, and they seem to take unnecessary risks, but clearly it works for them and haven't been punished too often.
8 clean sheets as well. 16 matches. The thing you notice comparing these two sides is CJ Cochran has faced upwards of 55 shots on the year. Logan Ketterer has only faced 35. And so, in some ways, possession is almost a form of defense for this El Paso side. Is now charging on here Chavez. Awkward there for Andrew Fox, who just has to give away the corner as Chavez was charging in.
Well, it's a very interesting stat about the few shots that have been on Ketterer in goals, and maybe it's also because they get so many numbers behind the ball. They close you down before you can get the shot. You end up playing around their box, but never getting a clear sight of goals. As you do, you get closed down straight away. It's a lot of numbers back for El Paso. They defend in numbers. It's just hard to break through them.
Hadjic this time will leave it short here with Jamal Johnson. Now for Basulovic, who will deliver. Header is on there from Mickey Daly. Logan Ketterer just making sure it went over his bar.
Well, that corner a little bit different. They moved it around there. They tried to get the players in the box, give them time to lose their markers and to move around themselves. Played it 2-3 times, then whipped the ball into the box. And it's a header, yeah, it wasn't on target, but once again, just sort of threatening a little bit Fresno. Nothing really to worry Ketterer, but that could all change. Still more than, what are we, 50 minutes to play.
Lovely turn there from Basulovic. Now waiting for the space to avail itself. Ellis Hayden, 3 white shirts onto him in a flash. Chance of cross attempted there by Ali Hadjic, cut out. Cochran, I should say from a Fresno defensive point of view, the out ball from defender to either midfield or attack is just not on. Fresno closing down all of those spaces. It's nearly given away here by Ali Hadjic, but recovered and laid off for the goalkeeper.
A good pressing again from El Paso. Both these teams press the defenses, looking to turn over. And so far, no goals to show for it. Here comes a big man again.
Salgado charging through. The heavy coming together with Ellis Hayden. And now sliding behind towards Chavez. Chavez just trying to get it across the face of goal. Couldn't get clean purchase on it and cleared by Andrew Fox. And Salgado remained down. Now we'll try and get to his feet and join the attack. Contreras. Richie Ryan. And Rebellon. Fresno supporters in full voice. Would have enjoyed the start to this one. Poor ball switched out to this left-hand side towards Kiffy.
Just looking at Mark Lowry there, the El Paso manager. Very, very excited, very energetic.
Demonstrative, you might say.
Demonstrative. Good word, good word. Mind you, look at those fans, aren't they wonderful? So many times we've spoken about them and the effort they put in to support their team and the fun they have. And it's just a brilliant example of, I mean, you know, the players must look at that and it's so pumped up to play for that sort of support.
High attack coming in from Basulovic a bit late. Caught Nick Ross. For Scott. Playing next to the Irishman. The Englishman behind them. Seen a player from Wales. I think we have the whole island covered. Argentinian in front of them and a German leading the line with a Mexican out on the wing.
United Nations.
It's brilliant. Ryan. Getting off for the Englishman Andrew Fox, last with Grimsby Town in England. Johnson. Way back to C.J. Cochran, who just has to hit it long. You would say the defining moments of this first half were the chance for Salgado, saved by Cochran, and then another tremendous save off the corner. First time hit from Daniel Navarro. C.J. Cochran, the hero of this first half, you must say.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's been the 2 outstanding moments of the half.
Fans want a behind-the-scenes look at Fresno FC. You can
so
stay connected with these photos on all social media
one-on-one.
You can find
C.J.
them on
Cochran
FFC
making
Fox
a
on
fantastic
Facebook,
save, and then the
Instagram,
one from
and Twitter.
Navarro had everybody, including us, out of our seats. A great, great strike from Navarro. Absolutely brilliant. You're thinking this is goal of the month, if not the season, and an outstretched hand from C.J. Cochran tips it over the crossbar. 2 brilliant moments, and that's really what separates the 2 teams. Other than that, there's been little half chances here and there, and that's why El Paso are doing well this season. Is when they do create chances, they create very good ones. Certainly they'll be disappointed if they do come in at half-time 0-0. El Paso will look back at those chances and be really disappointed they haven't come in leading.
Throwing in for Ryan now, inviting the pressure. The hand came out. Free allowing play to continue. Jamal Johnson. Top scorer for Fresno. Scored the brace against San Antonio. 9 goals a year ago. Contributor for Fresno on the score sheet.
here at Chancey Park for the first time on Saturday, July 13th. Stop by the courtesy booth behind
Lofting
section
it towards
121
Chavez, who
information.
tried to take it down, but to no one in particular.
They're just thinking of goal scorers besides Jamal Johnson. Lawal's got 5, Jaime Chavez has got 3, Basulovic has got 3. So they do have other goal scorers. We just haven't seen them do anything really good in this first half. And they've certainly not caused Ketra too many problems, except that one strike from Jamal Johnson where the keeper had to dive to his left.
Fans to celebrate Pride Night.
For Kudus Lawal, all 5 of his goals and an assist have come in his last 6 appearances. So he's an on-song, but
located on the concourse above section 119 today.
Struggling to find that service tonight. Skippy takes the throw in. Contreras doing well to get turned. Now Gomez. I imagine we'd have too much stoppage time. The last meaningful action here for Omar Salgado. And set it on to his left to come here for Richie Ryan. Into the penalty area. 1-2 attempted Richie Ryan. His effort wide of target.
It's a good effort there from Richie Ryan. You're right, he plays it in, it comes back very quickly to him, and in a split second he gets a good foot behind that. I'm not quite sure how much it missed by. It looked like it was reasonably close. Richie Ryan gets it, plays it, gets it back quickly, and then out of his feet he stabs it just past CJ Cochran. This will give us an idea. Yeah, maybe it was a yard or more wide, but quick feet from Richie Ryan there. And nearly a breakthrough, but still level at 0-0.
Ryan almost exclusively a left-footed player. Having to go with his right wasn't bad. Now Basulovic going to try and play the 1-2 is up. Basulovic going through, sliding tackle in there from Fox. It needed to be inch perfect, and it was. Remoto feels for handball. Play on. One back, and now again Basulovic. Throw in here for Fresno. Will be the last chance here this first half. And the referee will now not allow them to take it. As we've approached halftime, we remain scoreless here at the Chuck Chancey Park with Fresno FC's goalkeeper, CJ Cochran. The key figure in this first half, Omar Salgado, 1v1 with him. And he denies, and then on the ensuing corner, a first-time strike coming in from Daniel Navarro, hit with absolute pace. And Navarro manages, or rather Cochran manages to tip over the bar. And we get to the half scoreless. Your score at the break. Fresno FC 0, El Paso Locomotive 0. Fresno FC 0, El Paso Locomotive 0 at the break. Chances for either team, but probably the best coming for El Paso on a pair of sequences, but remain scoreless at the break. As the month of June comes to an end, let's take a look at a movement of pride that started 51 years ago in Greenwich Village in New York City.
Okay, so really quick, the brief history of why we celebrate Pride in June is Stonewall Riots.
It all started on June 28th, 1969.
There were police raids in the Stonewall Inn as well as other LGBT bars.
So I don't know if you know, but being gay was kind of like the thing not to do. So we were being beaten up, we were being, killed in the streets.
And on that day, we decided to fight back.
It was a trans woman of color and a drag queen of color. They threw the first brick, which started the riots, and then we rebelled against the police, and we kind of started fighting for our rights.
From that, we have every year Pride.
It's not just decorating a t-shirt with the rainbow.
It really doesn't have to do about others, but about the love for yourself.
Whether you're an ally, whether you belong to the community, is that you teach people acceptance.
One of the most important things that young people coming out can have is support from their family and other community allies.
Knowing yourself the best way you can, celebrating yourself, who you are as a person, one time a year kind of puts a self-reflection on what you can and can't do as an individual and how you can make yourself better.
We've seen the changes. We've grown as a city, I think, too.
It makes my heart melt because you get to see everyone be so supportive to the community.
It's very surreal.
We see a lot of organizations try and chime in on the whole pride flag thing and change their logo and for that whole month, but then forget about us the rest of the year.
Now, more than ever, considering the political climate that we're in, we have to really start lifting each other up.
Especially being a more conservative pocket in California, it's important that people know that they can be who they are and that it's okay.
I see it now, and I want to see it 10 years down the road. I want to see it 100 years down the road for my nieces and my nephews or the children.
This is not a transgender issue. This is not an LGBT issue. This is a human issue. This is a civil rights issue.
Once everybody is in it together, then it just can't be stopped.
San Diego has been waiting for a professional soccer club it can call its own. Now led by leading soccer executive and co-founder of Sacramento Republic FC, Warren Smith, and legendary United States men's national team player Landon Donovan, its club has arrived. The USL Championship is coming to the University of San Diego's Torero Stadium, bringing all the excitement of the fastest growing league in North America to one of the top soccer markets in the United States.
All right, gentlemen, I don't think we need to kind of review what this game means, but it is a really important opportunity for us. I think it's an important opportunity for you guys in a lot of ways. Goal is to advance in the U.S. Open Cup by beating Cincinnati. It is that simple. Any questions? Let's go, gentlemen. Let's go.
It's more than just the two clubs. There's a bit of an angst between the cities, quite frankly. You can feel it.
There's just so much on the line. We're in the third year now of seeing FC Cincinnati with a lot of big moments that have happened and history built up.
Last year we came here twice and we won both games. Dealing with the crowd, the pressure, I think is one advantage that we'll have as we've dealt with it.
Fourth round of the 2019 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, the site of the renewal of one of the great budding rivalries in U.S. soccer, FC Cincinnati. Now the big dog from Major League Soccer hosting Louisville City FC, a rainy Nippert Stadium, the perfect place, Lorena, to renew the River City rivalry. Sam Warner, the beauty.
Jamal Johnson, he only knows bangers.
Look at Taylor moving up.
And Taylor with a beautiful strike. Are you kidding?
Johnson from distance.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
A great save from C.J. Cochran.
Fresno 0, El Paso 0 at the break. Chances of that first half only best for El Paso. A couple of decent opportunities for Salgado and Navarro, well thwarted by C.J. Cochran. Let's now take you with the best of around USL. As you have a look there, North Carolina FC proposing a new downtown stadium in Raleigh as they continue their push towards Major League Soccer. Big trade happening. Tampa Bay Rowdies sending Antoine Openo to Louisville for Lucky Mkasana. We saw Antoine Openo make his debut tonight. It was a decent effort for Louisville City, getting a point away from home against Indy 11.
It was, and he looked sharp when he came on, Openo. And we wish Lucky Mkasana good luck at Tampa Bay Rowdies. The Zimbabwean has scored a number of goals this season, and we hope he does the same for Tampa Bay Rowdies.
We also have Wednesday Night Soccer featuring Fresno FC coming up very soon. Take a look at our USL Team of the Week. Jamal Johnson getting the brace, had to be in the midfield.
Absolutely, he was brilliant. But for me, one of my favorite players up there, Phoenix Rising's Asante, they're top of the Western Division. He is such a wonderful little player, the Ghanaian.
Absolutely fantastic. And Phoenix flying at the top of the Western Conference. It's Fresno and El Paso that are trying to chase them down. And they'll need more Team of the Week kind of performances from their team, particularly in this upcoming second half. First half highlights, second half kickoff on the way.
Thank you, Community Medical Centers, for being an outstanding community partner with Fresno FC.
Fresno FC 0, El Paso Locomotive 0 at the break. Still looking for that breakthrough here as we enter the second half. Chris Whittingham and the former Man United goalkeeper Gary Bailey for commentary of this one as we now bring you our first half highlights. And we must begin with the two tremendous saves from the Fresno goalkeeper C.J. Cochran.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. The first one, it's Omar Salgado at 6'2". Look at this acceleration. He leaves them all for dead, and he's about to slot it in the back of the net, and C.J. Cochran puts out an arm and a leg and makes an absolutely vital save. But the big man was so fast there. Brilliantly well done, the goalkeeper. Then from the corner, ball comes out. Daniel Navarro hits this. What a strike. He must think that's the best one he's ever hit. And C.J. Cochran pops up and tips it over the bar.
And then the cross coming in towards Jaime Chavez, but he was flagged for offside. So not to be for Fresno's opening goal. They let off the flare and everything. It was not to be for Fresno FC, but El Paso would still continue to pack on the pressure. Here's Contreras' effort.
Yeah, straightforward this time for CJ Cochran. And a nice strike, but straight at the goalkeeper. But his first two saves were they were the highlight of the half. Absolutely brilliant.
And then Kiffy coming down this left-hand side. Megan the defender, and Mickey Daly doing well to intervene.
Yeah, great nutmeg, and I just wonder if he'd have gone on the far post because there was a gap for him to shoot. Instead, he went near post and shot into a whole bunch of bodies. But still a lovely move from Kiffy.
And then from the corner, Kiffy taking it short. Gomez going down, and through that mass of defenders, eventually getting it clear. Fresno. Gomez there, stuck in the traffic. As you have a look at our first half stats, rare to see El Paso trailing in possession, but you really saw them struggling to build out from the back and string passes together.
But they kept on trying. But have a look at their shots on target to shots. 50% of their shots were on target. That's where they were so sharp up front. When they got the chances, only CJ Cochran's brilliance stopped them from scoring. For Fresno, a lot more shots, but only one on target. They just really haven't been sharp enough around the goal. That's what Fresno are going to have to improve on in the second half.
Jamal Johnson also doing well off that left-hand side to challenge Logan Ketterer in goal for El Paso.
Let's go, guys.
But you must say, as you take a look now at just sort of what these two teams can do out of the break, for El Paso, you have to say it's figuring out a way to play even with the pressure that Fresno, you'd imagine, will continue to apply.
Yeah, and I just wonder if once in a while they can't go long to someone as big as Salgado, play over the press.
Or Kiesewetter.
Or Kiesewetter, absolutely. You haven't seen much of him in this game, but they still choose to play out of the back, and they've taken a few little risks, not major risks, but just wonder if Fresno can turn over the ball, whether they can do some damage to El Paso. But to be fair, El Paso have also pressurized Fresno when they've had the ball at the back. So, yeah, it's been tight first half, but I get the sense that second half things will start to open up. They're two teams who will go for the victory. Adam Smith calling his players together. And if Kiesewetter gets more service up front, then El Paso could be a major, major threat for CJ Cochran in the second half.
For Fresno FC in the attack, you mentioned the shots to shots on target ratio. Jamal Johnson's snap shot from 25 yards out that almost caught Ketterer off his line, but they haven't really done well in the attack in terms of creating clear-cut chances and figuring out a way through El Paso.
100% correct. They need, if you're going to score goals, you need good service into Jaime Chavez. Balls that he can attack, and Lawal's done reasonably well. He got himself he won a good free kick on the edge of the box using his strength. But yeah, they need good ball around the box, good 1-2s, and so far we haven't seen enough from Fresno inside the box. But I think, in fairness, you've got to give El Paso credit. They don't have the best defensive record in the West for no reason. It's very difficult to play into that box.
And we should say, well, we have an opportunity as a pair of halftime changes are being prepared. You mentioned Juan Pablo Cafa's ability to take free kicks. He's going to come on here for Adam Smith, as is Jackson, the Brazilian winger. A ton of MLS experience, but we have a moment awaiting for who comes off here at halftime. I should mention that James Giffard, a center back for Fresno, now with the team with Haiti at the CONCACAF Gold Cup, started today in their tremendous 3-2 come from behind victory over Canada, 2-0 down in the second half, and comes back to win 3-2 as Arun Basulovic will come off for Jackson. That seems like for like. Jackson will slide into that right-hand side. I imagine Kafa will take the place of either a striker, it'll probably be a central midfielder, the Kurimoto or Ali Hadjic. Given he comes in as a central attacking midfielder. He'll play a bit more withdrawn as well.
And he's got the most magic left foot, Juan Pablo Cafa. Absolutely brilliant, the Argentinian. Beware El Paso giving any free kicks around the box, because that Juan Pablo can stick them in the top corner if he wants.
And it is Emir Ali Hadjic who makes way. So a pair of halftime changes for Adam Smith, not trailing in the match, but still not pleased with what he saw from his team, and elects to make a couple of changes as we get started in the second half. Now for Fresno, The impetus on them to try and turn things around, and straight away coming forward is Kiffy. We'll play it here for Kiesewetter. Try to slide it out towards that left-hand side, and Gomez, but cleared by Fresno.
There's two good changes that Adam Smith has made. For me, Jackson and back to fitness and available, and Juan Pablo Cuffa, two very, very good players. And they're going to cause El Paso some problems, I would suspect, in the second half. So Adam Smith being positive, as you say, felt his team didn't create enough chances, and to be fair, they didn't. And these two players that brought on, I think, will certainly give Logan Ketterer a few more things to worry about in the second half. Clash of bodies there, we hope nothing serious.
For Jackson, nearly 150 MLS appearances with FC Dallas and Toronto FC. As Richie Ryan took the brunt end of a tackle in the center of the park. It's slow to get up. Ian Kudus Lawal hashing that out. And for Pablo Cuffa, 9 goals and 5 assists in his first season with the club. No scoring rate with Tulsa Roughnecks in USL. Player with La Liga experience with Real Betis. Lawal wins the ball back here for Fresno. Here's Johnson. Play it towards Lawal. Well done with his first touch. Now Cuffa. Johnson, a bit more like it here for Fresno. Cross into the penalty area towards that back post. Headed away. Jackson was threatening. Ellis Hayden doing well to win it back. Daly.
Couple of substitutions for your Foxes during halftime. Leaving the field,
Throw in here for James Kiffy.
and number 13, Amir Alihovic. Coming in, number 7,
Defense for El Paso,
and number 10,
8 clean sheets, only conceded 13 goals. They're playing as well in the conference in USL, which has seen far more goals scored. The West have a couple of sides in the 11 and Tampa Bay Rowdies that at least came into the night having only conceded single-digit goals, both of them conceding tonight, so I figure no longer intact as Jamal Johnson hits a shot, came all the way through and off of Lawal. Only fell kindly to a fellow blue shirt. Fresno getting it clear. Now Johnson. Lofting into the penalty area. Headed away. Dangerous there for Fox, is nearly clattered with Ryan, who heads away towards Gomez. Going back by Cuffa. Appeals for a high boot, not given. Now Cuffa to measure the cross into the penalty area. It's in towards Chavez. And Ketterer with a second
Toyota corner kick for Fresno FC.
Corner for Fresno.
Juan Pablo Cuffa, we told you about that left foot of his. It's like a magic wonder. He puts a wonderful ball in there for Chavez, who gets a decent head on. Look at him. Comes back on that left foot, bends it in, floats it in perfectly. Good header, great stretch from Ketterer once again. The keeper for El Paso makes a crucial save.
Cuffa to measure the corner. Towards the back post as they usually are. Del Campo gets a decent head to it. But Kiffy can play out. Rebellon getting turned. Now leaving it a bit soft there for Ryan. And now the tackle came in from Ryan as it was loose, but it's just on the edge of the penalty area.
Free kick for the Foxes.
There from Rebellon, and you can see Ryan's frustration with that ball. And it was Jackson who came flying through. Free kick Fresno.
Good pressure from Fresno, edge of the box. No question, and Richie Ryan doesn't even bother arguing about it. And again, you've got Juan Pablo Cuffa on here. What if he puts a decent ball in? Suddenly there's options for Fresno. And you get the sense that this is switching, the sort of belief is switching more and more to the home side.
Cuffa over the free kick. 5 to aim at. Jackson trying to stand in between the defense and the keeper. Full man marking here for El Paso Locomotive as Cuffa will hit it towards the near post. It's straight into the wall. Now lofted back in. Second ball comes all the way through towards Mickey Daly. Let it run. Settle it well. Nice first touch there from Kudus Lawal. Now Jamal Johnson onto his right, trying to bend one. And he certainly can, but a little bit high and wide.
Yeah, it was a good effort, but as you say, a little bit too far off target, but suddenly fresh legs and fresh approach. Suddenly you got Jackson, who's a threat. Jamal Johnson's a threat. Juan Pablo Cuffer put that ball back in again a second time a little bit earlier, and that was a great cross. So a lot more to offer in attack for Fresno now.
Salgado. And chip towards Josué and Gomez, but I come here for Kiffy. Of the two fullbacks is certainly the one that has come forward more, as Gomez does well to get in the way and win the ball back, sliding through towards Kiesewetter, and the flag has gone up.
Doesn't seem much, has he, Kiesewetter? Such a good player, such a fantastic season he's had so far. He's put himself into this game. Gets caught offside there. Fairness to him, he hasn't had a lot of service. It's been very frustrating for him, because I'm sure he'd love to add to the goals he's already scored and get himself back on top of the goal scorers charts.
Nick Ross there applying the pressure. This is the poor ball there from Cochran, nearly given away. Now Kappa, multiple white shirts flying to win the ball back. We play on. Contreras, lovely dink into the path of Kiffy, who can try and slide in. Kiesewetter might still come for Kiesewetter. And Cochran off his line, booting it clear. Now work to do for El Paso at the back. Lovely touches here from Lawal into the penalty area. Lawal trying to poke it through towards Chavez. Rebellon getting in the way. And Chavez was offside anyway.
Yeah, good counter-attack from Fresno, but just going back to that moment earlier, CJ Cochran coming out and booting the ball clear. I thought if he doesn't get his timing right, it's going to be a penalty. I'm not so sure he needed to get involved. But the keeper got away with it. And once again comes to his team's rescue.
Ross. It seemed as though Kiesewetter was bending his run in between defender and goalkeeper, but CJ Cochran electing for no-nonsense clearance. Belcampo. Leon got ahead to it, but not too much of it there for Lawal. You see so a bit more fine with hitting it long. Now Mark Lowry will hold the ball for Rebellon to take the throw. Tactical adjustments sometimes required, even if you are trying to stick to a system, especially on a pitch as narrow and short as this one.
I think you have to have flexibility no matter what system you have. There's got to be a plan B and a plan C. If you have to go long for 5 minutes and knock it up to a big striker, so be it. If you want to suddenly switch to 3 at the back, you've got to be able to be flexible, because you also want to test out the opposition. You want to confuse them and have them guessing as to what you're going to do, and move them around into positions they're uncomfortable with. But it's certainly, the energy has switched to Fresno with Juan Pablo Cuffer and Jackson coming on. And it has been more of the home side, and now it's a question of whether El Paso can respond.
Now Jackson going to beat Richie Ryan for pace and charge towards that back four. Sliding through Jaime Chavez! And again, Ketterer had it covered. Chavez was straining to get something on it. And
Toyota corner kick for the Foxes.
Poke it around the El Paso keeper.
Fresno.
Once again, another great save. And it's Jackson whose pace opens this opportunity for Jaime Chavez, and the goalkeeper Ketterer with a crucial save. And to be fair, both goalkeepers have made 2 or 3 absolutely crucial saves in this match, and so far they're vying for man of the match.
Ketterer in the opening 10 minutes of the second half. It was CJ Cochran in the opening 10 minutes of the first. As the corner delivered by Kaffa, decent bend to it, but Ryan getting ahead. Jamal Johnson! That kind of first time hit carries some danger.
It did. It was the right height, it just was a little bit wide of the goal, but
that's right.
That's on target. That flies into the top corner. Beautifully struck. Such a difficult skill on the volley like that.
For more information.
Not too far off, and Ketterer wasn't even close.
I think there was a ball girl in behind that goal that was almost impaled by that effort. Jamal Johnson certainly carrying a threat, and does have previous with the El Paso manager Mark Lowry, playing under him at Jacksonville Armada. He was with them for 3 seasons. I wouldn't believe this, Gary, as Jackson can carry on his way. But Jamal Johnson scored the first ever goal for Jacksonville Armada, their first match in NASL, 12 seconds in front of the home fans.
Wow.
Not a bad way to start your history as a club. Is flick on there for Chavez, and Jackson skying it unmarked at the penalty spot. and putting far too much power on it.
He had a chance to make a name for himself again there if he'd have kept that down. Lovely little bit of interplay from Fresno. We're looking sharper and quicker and more dangerous in every aspect of the game. And looking at ball played in, a little bit of a back heel. Jackson, maybe he just slipped in fairness to him because he didn't need to go down, so I only assume he lost his footing. But certainly the changes made by Adam Smith, and you have to give the coach credit here, has brought Fresno to life. They had lost a danger up front. They didn't really offer much first half, but so far they look really sharp second half.
Jackson now onto his left. He's carried real threat since coming on.
He has. He's a threat down one side, and you've got Jamal Johnson down the other. You've got Lawal and Chavez. It really is totally refreshed Fresno in the second half, but it's still 0-0.
Here is Mark Lowry now trying to change things up a bit. Edson Partida comes on loan from Toluca in Liga MX. He comes on for Josué and Gomez, who in his first start struggled at times tonight. Loanese from Mexico involved in this change.
Yeah, hasn't had a huge impact on the game, Gomez, has he? I don't know if he's still struggling to find his fitness. Not sure if he's been playing regularly or not. But it is time to bring fresh legs on. And
substitution for El Paso.
To do that.
Leaving the field, midfielder number 26.
Fair, he probably has a look at this new, fresh Fresno approach and thinks, well, we need to get them on the back foot. We need to start attacking them a little bit because they're coming at us in waves.
Partida is a player who has made a big impact in matches. Came on as a sub against Orange County and scored twice. Now Jackson trying to put the cross through the penalty area. Cut out there by Fox, is trying to find Lawal. Not too much there for Contreras, but it does roll for him kindly. Here is Sebastian Contreras sliding in Salgado. Salgado trying to cut onto his left, but well played there by Elijah Martin, who now tries to almost jump on top of him, trying to win the ball back. Bit of a height disparity there. G. Ryan. Kiffy. And again. We want to find Rebellon. Salgado with back to goal. Contreras dinking it to allow Kiffy to come forward. Here's Kiffy cutting it back and again towards the byline, clipping in, trying the overhead kick there. It was an audacious attempt for Partida. Couldn't get to it. And now the tackle put in by Rebellon.
There certainly have been some good chances and some lovely skills and no goals, but lots of efforts to show for it. And yeah, just a good header in front. If someone hadn't made a touch with their head there, that could have ended up in the back of the net. But it needs a goal this match now. There's been so much good play. There's been excitement. There's been some great goalkeeping. No question about that. But for fans, and I'm sure those watching, a goal now would force the teams to open up, and that's what the game needs.
Richie Ryan. You mentioned here Mark Lowry. Not pleased with his center back, Andrew Fox, not just playing the simple ball for his fellow center back Navarro. And Navarro played it loose for Rebellon, throw-in for Fresno. Mark Lowry will continue to be full voice in his technical area. Game play it a certain way. Ellis Hayden. El Campo. Salgado putting in the tackle, but Martin warding it off, and Johnson. Also yet to lose on this campaign away from home. Kept this one scoreless through the hour.
Look at the white shirts behind the ball. They deny you space most of the time.
Through the area. Wasn't sure if it was a shot or a cross, but Andrew Fox doing well to get in the way.
It did. It was a great block. Just saying, there's so many white shirts behind the ball. It's difficult to find.
Toyota corner kick for Fresno FC.
That's why they're defensively so strong. You just get the sense that Fresno are creating little half chances here, and that maybe a breakthrough is imminent. Yes, El Paso haven't lost away from home yet. This is going to be a big test for them here in this next 30 minutes.
As Kafa will loft in. Del Campo just trying to get anything to it. Tackle forced there out of Rebellon. Out for the throw-in. El Paso moved towards the top of the table. A tremendous run where they won 6, drew 3, and lost none.
Wow.
Surged up the table. Could have drawn and lost in the week. Difficult travel as well, as ball is slid towards Jamal Johnson out for the goal kick. Difficult for teams in USL to go Wednesday, Saturday. You don't see quite the squad depth that you do around the world when European fixtures are asked of certain teams.
That's very true, and especially this being El Paso's first season, maybe they haven't got that depth. That's a point that Coach Adam Smith made to us about his team, Fresno, and how much better they are this season because they have that depth. And to be fair, they lost to Las Vegas Lights. Well, they could have won that 3 or 4. They were very unlucky on the day. So I don't think El Paso will be too worried about the loss, but if they don't win here today, it's 3 matches without a win, and suddenly questions start being asked.
Jackson getting to her, trying to ding through. Chavez with the idea for the flick, but it didn't come through for Lawal and clear. The rookie Kurimoto on the spot with Fresno through preseason tryouts. A regular run in the team for Adam Smith. Kudus Lawal also earning a spot in the team in a similar fashion. Kafa. Taken down there by Elijah Martin. In the area for Lawal. Now for Kafa. It's a touch to it through the area. Juan Pablo Kafa. Back across goal. Headed in. Goal! And Fresno in front through Jackson. The substitutes combining. Kafa for Jackson. It's 1-0 to Fresno.
Well, we said the breakthrough was going to come soon from Fresno. They've been pushing, they've been shoving. And it's that man, Juan Pablo Kafa, who puts the ball in. Catcher had absolutely no chance. What a lovely cross with his right foot, of all things, from Juan Pablo Kafa. And Jackson, who's looked super sharp since he came on, gets on the end of it and sticks it in the back of the net. And it's been well deserved. Held up excellently there. Now look at Juan Pablo Kafa on his right foot. Doesn't use it too often, but what a good ball he puts in. He picks out Jackson. Jackson makes no mistake. And at last we have the breakthrough that seemed to be imminent. And now the big question is, can El Paso fight back from this position? They've never lost away from home yet. They're facing a loss at this moment.
Goal scored by number 7, Jackson.
As you said, Gary, a bit surprised to see Kafa deliver with his right. It's a great ball in. Now, what to do for El Paso, as we mentioned. We see 2 losses and a draw from 3 matches, including home defeat to Las Vegas Lights. Dig deep and find the response. Players on the field have played in all 3 of those matches, and legs will get heavy. 3 hot nights in El Paso, San Antonio, and now in Fresno. As they want a free kick. Chance on here for Fresno. Or for El Paso, I should say. It was set piece. 6 lining up on the edge of the penalty area for Sebastian Contreras. It's a good ball lofted in. Powerfully won in the air by Del Campo. Richie Ryan will find his options back, and Rebellon got to play back to the goalkeeper. It's a bit loose. Lawal is onto it, and Kudus Lawal has a great opportunity here for Fresno. Lawal Calamitous back pass there from El Paso. Architects of their own destruction, and Lawal has now scored a 6th goal in 7 matches, and Fresno are 2-0 up.
Well, we asked the question in the first half with El Paso, all this playing around at the back, were they taking too many risks? And they get caught out at last. Ketterer can't do too much, he goes in for the tackle. Lawal comes out with the ball, it's an empty net, you can't blame the keeper, but what's happening in front of him? The pass back was a bad pass. Is it the pitch, perhaps? But if you're going to play too much at the back, eventually you run the risk of getting punished. That's exactly what has happened here tonight. So within the space of a couple of minutes, Fresno get the breakthrough. They're 2-0 up, that their play has deserved in the second half. And that's tough on El Paso. Tough in the fact that they could have been and should have been 2-0 up, but for CJ Cochran in the first half. But Fresno have taken the opportunity, and if this result stays, they'll be going second in the table, subject, of course, to other results. Wouldn't that be awesome for all these players and their fans here today?
For Penn does depend on results elsewhere. At the moment, they're actually not getting the rub of the green, as we mentioned earlier. Phoenix are leading 1-0. Portland Timbers 2 have come back to lead 2-1. But it's now 2-2. In the 65th minute, Fresno would still remain 3rd in the table, with Reno actually jumping them. They lead by 2-0. And the change there during the celebrations as Luis Herrera came on for Sebastian Contreras. Throw the dice for Mark Lowry.
Substitution for El Paso.
Staring
number 10,
defeat in the face.
Number 20, Luis Herrera.
The first time away from home on this campaign. Certainly be back to the drawing board for him.
Fans, tonight's O'Reilly's Brew Pub Roll of the Matches, section 1.
Now, I guess you could say for El Paso, in the point you made, if they haven't got the strength and depth, maybe they're just getting a little bit tired. Maybe they've been so fantastic. They put a lot of effort in, all that high press, and they just can't keep doing it. They can't rotate enough. That yellow card being given there for Kudus Lawal. Not so sure he meant any contact. He's shaking his head, saying there was no malice involved. There was hardly a touch. Let's have a look at it again.
The arm up.
The arm up, yeah. I suppose you're always going to get into trouble for that, but
catching Daniel Navarro.
But this playing out the back and taking risks, eventually going to get punished. And they have been here tonight, El Paso.
You can stay connected with these Soros.
I guess they will point to the 2 chances early on when Salgado was through 1-on-1 and Navarro's hit a fantastic shot. And on both occasions, CJ Cochran has produced a fantastic save. But maybe they should have been 2-0 up at that stage.
And staying down there, Herrera. But for me, when you're playing out of the back and you can see, even if you're under pressure and you're figuring out a way through, that's one thing, but El Paso all night long is in behind their Partida, but he was offside. All night long, El Paso have struggled to find that way out, find that ball from defense to midfield, and there, it wasn't even that scenario. It was a second ball off of a corner and a poor back pass.
It was a poor back pass, and that's the problem. In that situation, you can't afford to miss-hit it, but if you're always going back to the goalkeeper and trying to play it around,
instead of just lumping it forward back in.
I know some coaches will say, well, that's not the way we play football, but it's less risky sometimes, especially when you're being pressurized. It's a bumpy pitch. Just knock it down the pitch. Give your striker, Kiesewetter, something to go for, as opposed to trying to play it back to the keeper.
Nearly felt kindly there for Lawal. Ketterer claiming.
Big challenge now for El Paso. What can they do? Can they get themselves back in this match? Can they make it a grandstand finish?
They're giving away again, but El Paso continuing to play. Lovely touch there from Herrera, but coming together there with the fellow substitute Partida. A bit of frustration there, but Partida able to win it back and earn the throw. We do see more and more in the modern game. We play one way no matter what. We are committed to a style of play, almost even more to anything else, even above the results. The style is important in how we do it. And I admire it, and I tend to be on the side of those in that camp, but when do you bend? It's difficult. Balance the strike.
I just blame Pep Guardiola for it all. Since he had that Barcelona team.
You say blame, I say celebrate. I love Pep Guardiola.
He plays out from the back, but he has the best players in the world who play out from the back. And even then, they sometimes make errors, but they can often recover when you're Barcelona or Manchester City. But to be copying that is fantastic, and great credit to the likes of Mark Lowry and those who do try and copy that sort of style. But you've also got to accept that sometimes you're going to get caught with a lack of technique and the pass gets cut out and you get punished. So I don't think you should play it all the time, but again, up to the coach. And who can criticize any coach like Mark Lowry when they're sitting coming into this match in third place with a new team? I mean, that's been a fantastic
bit different when you're rock bottom of the table and you win six.
Yes. Then I think
but
people
it's got
will.
them results.
It has. The question for them is if they do lose this, 2 losses and a draw in their last 3, are they running themselves out of energy? Have they not got enough players off the bench to come and take over so they can rotate? These are the next questions that Mark Lowry is going to be asking himself. And of course, then the players start to doubt themselves. 3 matches without a win. Are they really good enough for this level of football?
As the tackle a bit too heavy there.
Free kick for Fresno FC.
The question I was going to ask you was if Pep Guardiola managed in the red half of Manchester, would you have such a problem?
Fans, to celebrate Pride Month, we have created a Pride collection.
I've got no problem with any great team playing the way he wants to play, but you have to have wonderfully gifted players technically. And sometimes if a player isn't that gifted and they try and play that system, they can get found out. So you know, that back pass was not a good one. It got jumped on. Fresno scored the second and crucial goal, and now El Paso are facing a very difficult situation. 2-0 down away from home.
As Kaffa will take the free kick and send it straight towards Logan Ketterer, who handles it well. And it's given away there. Richie Ryan got caught. Kaffa in the penalty area. Juan Pablo Kaffa sliding in to win it back. Now Jackson, and another necessary deflection, but it was a handball, and the referee has awarded a penalty. Ismir Pekmic saying that Andrew Fox's arm was out. Yellow and a pen for Fresno to get a third.
Well, there's no VAR to change the decision, so it is what it is. Jackson with the shot, and once again he's come on and made a big difference. Jackson, so quick and so sharp, and it really is all falling to pieces for El Paso after such a great start to the match. Let's have a look at it again. Juan Pablo Kaffa on the ball. Ball comes out, he head up, he finds Jackson, gives him a perfectly weighted ball. Oh, I don't know. I didn't see the arm out. Might have hit him on the shoulder and the arm tucked into the body, but Andrew Fox not happy with the decision, but it's given. Yeah, he's saying my arm wasn't away, but there's no VAR to go to and debate, so it is what it is.
What's the defender meant to do?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, at the end of the day, if your arm's tucked in, you can't get out the way. It shouldn't be a penalty, but it is.
And Juan Pablo Kaffa will try and convert it for his second goal of the campaign. Try and get on scoring form that he was on a year ago. Here's Juan Pablo Kaffa, tries the chip, tries the Panenka, and Ketterer had it read the whole way.
That's when the Panenka doesn't work. It's too risky if the keeper stands still. And Ketterer brave as a lion, because you're expected to dive either left or right. He stands still and just plucks it out the air, makes poor Juan Pablo Kaffa look really silly. Unfortunately for the Argentinian, his team are 2-0 up, so it's not that crucial at this moment.
The chance remains on. Here's Jaime Chavez. And Ketterer scrambling, going down, and eventually settling. Nerves of steel here from Ketterer to stand tall and catch the Panenka.
When it gets caught like that, it's really embarrassing. That's why Juan Pablo Kaffa was holding his head. More and more goalkeepers are standing today because more and more people are trying the Panenka.
Another shout for a penalty. Referee Pekmic waving away.
He's not going to give 2 in 2 minutes unless it's absolutely blatant. Again, Juan Pablo Kaffa, maybe because his team were 2-0 up, he felt he could do a Panenka. Would he have done that at 0-0? I sincerely doubt it. but it's just left the door slightly open for El Paso. And to be fair, a 3-0 loss would have been unfair because they did so well those first 10 minutes. It could have been 2-0 up.
Now Omar Salgado in behind, a great tackle put in there by Elijah Martin. Well, Salgado was away.
So quick, the big man, as we saw in the first half. A great tackle there from Elijah Martin. If you're El Paso, you've got to be looking back and thinking, wow, CJ Cochran's made 2 incredible saves. We should have been at least 2-0 up. There was a couple of other little half chances first half. If you don't take your chances, it's a classic situation. Don't take them. There's always leave the door open for the other team to come flying back into the game, which is exactly what Fresno have done.
Now Kiffy over the corner, lofting towards that back post, and arriving in a decent touch to it from Daniel Navarro. Not clean enough or powerful enough contact to really threaten CJ Cochran too much.
Let's have a look at it again. Corner comes in, far post. Yeah, didn't quite connect fully. Navarro is expecting people in front of him to possibly get a touch. As we see CJ Cochran for the first time really this half be called into play, we remember what he did in the first half and how crucial that is. And he might still be my man of the match.
Neither goal really impressive enough to knock Cochran off that perch as yet. As Kiffy slides in a great ball, and now charging towards that back four. El Paso is Kiesewetter. Might still come for Kiesewetter, but enough pace on it for Cochran to come off his line and get it clear.
And somebody else we have to give credit to in this is Adam Smith. His changes that he made at halftime, Jackson and Juan Pablo Cuffer made a massive difference. Fresno came flying forward from every angle. They were just too much for El Paso.
Just a bit disjointed at the moment. Chances at either end. Look like El Paso was letting the game slip, and now they've kind of grown back into it as the cross comes in. Back post arriving. Chance on there for Kiffy, who stayed forward. Now Rebellon and Ryan. Left-hand side, played to the edge of the penalty area, nobody there. A real threat. 2 forwards, Chavez in the wall, still trying to create that pressure. It will be a throw-in for Fresno. Wouldn't mind just seeing this game calm down a bit.
Just wonder what Mark Lowry's thinking now for his El Paso side, who had such an incredible start to the season and just facing a few big challenges. For Adam Smith, it's 2 wins if this result stays back-to-back. So after 4 or 5 games without a win, he'll be feeling a lot happier about life. For Mark Lowry, it's exactly the opposite. After an incredible run, this, again, if the result stays the same, will be 3 games without a win, and suddenly he'll be finding sleepless nights and things to worry about.
In fairness to Lowry, some key contributors away. Meshach Jerome mentioned earlier that Geffen is at the Gold Cup with Haiti, as is Meshach Jerome. Haiti side winning 3-2 tonight over Canada. Drew Becky also didn't make the trip in central defense. Yuma, a key figure in central midfield, did not travel. Neither did Derek Gebhard, scored twice for them on the campaign. So, not some important players, but such is life with a bit of a tighter fixture list. Not to under in the week as they travel to OKC Energy next Saturday night.
We talked about strength and depth, and that's exactly the reason why you need a big squad. Is you lose players to internationals, you lose them to injuries. You have 2 matches a week, week after week after week. If your squad isn't big enough, your key players get tired, they just lose their edge. And that might be what El Paso is going through at the moment. Can't say for certain. But that's pretty much what Adam Smith suggested his first season was all about. A good team, but not a big enough squad. Now he's got both, a good team and good backup in a large squad. And suddenly you can rotate, and you can keep your players fresh, and you can get a result like this, which 10 minutes ago was looking really good. 2-0 up against El Paso, who've been absolutely brilliant this season so far.
create competition for places as well.
Absolutely, that's what keeps players on their toes for certain.
Lovely interchange there between Chavez and Jackson. And here for Del Campo. We should say this would be a tremendous result for Fresno. Second win on the bounce and take them into third in the Western Conference. Last year they were drifting further and further away from the playoff line as the season went on, eventually finishing below it. Into the top three is we're on the halfway point. Many teams already hitting it. Fresno still one more match to play, which will be the way to Sacramento as they hit the halfway point in their season. It will be a free kick on the far side for the Foxes.
Well, certainly looking at the way they're playing at the moment with Jackson White on the one side, Jamal Johnson on the other, and Chavez and Nawal up front.
The half of
feel that
offseason
they have
ticket
the
packages
players
now available.
to get big results, to go against some of the top teams and beat them.
That's 11
But
matches.
yeah, the worry is that in the first half, without the likes of Jackson and Juan Pablo Cuffer, they really struggled to get through. So if they got injuries to those players in the crucial part of the season when the playoffs come, it's going to be a problem for Fresno.
As Kaffa just tries to dink it towards Jackson, who got a touch to it, but Ryan doing well to get in between he and the byline, and he is furious with a little bit of a late tackle that came in from Jackson as well, as he went down to the turf, and the referee gonna have to separate the two.
Probably Richie Ryan just a little bit upset with the way this match has gone. Jackson just gave him a little bit of a shove as he was going for the ball. There was no malice in it. But I'm sure Richie's just can't believe how they started so well, and now they're sitting behind the 8 ball and 8 minutes left, and Richie Ryan's frustrated. He's a real battler. Very popular here at Miami FC when he was playing in Miami, and good character to have in the locker room, I'm told. Also a fiery character.
As you can see here, and Jackson going in to apologize. What do you make of the tactic of having the referee bring the two players involved in an incident and almost having them hash it out with him as the mediator?
Oh, I think it's the right thing to do, because generally the players do sort it out, which they have done. There's a shaking of hands, and it's left on good terms. And if it's not, the referee knows to keep an eye on them, because he knows there's going to be afters and a continuing battle. The referee's been very good today, as they generally are in the USL. Very, very firm, very direct. Explain what's going on.
Well, it's given away there at the back by Nick Ross. Now chance on here for Jackson, lofting it towards Jaime Chavez. Great save, Ketterer on the front of the wall. Flag down. Second goal for Kudus Lawal, who is on fire. 7 in 7 for Kudus Lawal, and Fresno have got 3 goals and 3 points in the bag.
Brilliant. What a second half it's been. Look at the kids in the background celebrating as well. Ball, it's a bad pass, isn't it? And you'll be careful with that. Nick Ross giving it away. But what a good ball in. Great header from Chavez. Once again, the keeper, Logan Ketchler, makes a decent save. And the Wild follows in and picks that one off. And he deserves it. He's been working really hard, trying to find opportunities. Chavez with a decent header. And it's 3-0, and Ketchler must be wondering what he has to do, because he's made save after save. El Paso are ending up here getting thumped tonight. And that's credit to Fresno. What a wonderful second half it's been for the home side.
Could have really done with some help from Sacramento Republic tonight, and could have finished the night second in the table, but Reno 1868 look like they're going to comfortably see that one out, as Guillermo Diaz has come on for Richie Ryan as the final change. Ryan, a player who's appeared in all 16 of El Paso's matches. It's allowed by Mark Lowry to get a rest, as this one is pretty well gotten away.
And he was getting upset as well, a little bit maybe over emotional, so the coaches just felt that it's best to get him off the pitch and let him just calm down. He's a battler, he's a fighter, he's the sort of player you want in your team. But as you say, the match is as good as done now.
With Diaz coming on for his first appearance of the year. A few more afters, and now we've got shoving away from the ball. It was the substitute, Luis Herrera, who is not at all pleased, I believe, with Jamal Johnson, and now full-scale separation required. Goalkeeper C.J. Cochran out as well, all the way past the halfway line. And Del Campo begging for red. Let's have a look at the incident. And it was Johnson, the late tackle there on Jamal Johnson. Stayed on top of him. Head off swinging a leg out, then grabbing Johnson's shirt. And the tug of the shirt as well from Herrera.
A lot of pushing and shoving going on. Not so sure any punches were thrown, or not. I don't think there's anything quite worthy of a red, but certainly yellows to both players for an unnecessary scuffle there. Time to take a deep breath. El Paso upset. They're annoyed. They can't believe that they're getting hammered here in a match in which they started off so well. And Fresno are 3-0 up. They can just play this out, keep possession.
So on second look, we're going to see a bit more in that, but
yeah, there wasn't much, no. As we tend to say, handbags. But, you know, Fresno don't need to get involved. For El Paso, I understand. It's really frustrating into this game. For Fresno, just chill, close the game out, keep possession. You want to bring down the sort of negative aspect. You don't want to ramp it up.
And now a final change being prepared here as Diego Casillas will come on for Fresno. It'll be Jaime Chavez. He had a few headed opportunities to get in the goals, but his last effort saved by Ketterer, and the wall pouncing on it.
It's a big hug from Adam Smith as he comes off. Jaime Chavez played really, really well, and the assist there for the last goal, fantastic header which the keeper saved, but Lowell followed in and scored. So Jaime Chavez, really decent effort today. Very impressed with him.
Navarro and Fox. So we'll have to go back to square one. And you wonder as well, credit to Adam Smith, he might have laid down the plan to negate El Paso Locomotive.
You also won 4 VIP club tickets.
Could also say there's tired legs, third match in a week, but
please stop by the courtesy booth on the concourse behind section 121.
Also been well and truly negated on this night. There is the substitute Diaz. On a slide in Salgado. Still trying to get onto it. Daly fine with conceding the throw. See their supporters in behind that goal for Fresno, enjoying their night out.
And why not 3-0 against El Paso? What a decent result that is. Absolutely fantastic. 2 wins back-to-back. Happy days all round.
That's Friday night. Beating San Antonio 3-2. All those goals as well coming in the second half. Kiffy trying to carry on his way. Got a bit too much there of Jackson with a free kick.
He's made such a difference, Jackson. His pace, he's been getting stuck in, he's been attacking. He's been wonderful. Juan Pablo Cuff's service, just top class. And those two coming in at half-time made a massive difference. And so too that man. He's still my man of the match, by the way. C.J. Cochran.
You're not giving it to Lowell for the brace?
I guess 2 goals is important, but his 2 saves was the equivalent of 2 goals, and that came early in the match. And they would have had their backs against the wall, Fresno, if they were 2-0 down. He comes up with 2 wonderful saves in the first 10 minutes, C.J. Cochran. And when do goalkeepers get man of the match anyway? They always get overlooked.
For me, it's the goal scorers. Lowell, man of the match for me. Let's see what the fans and the production team come back with. Who they side with. Throw in here for Fresno. Ellis Hayden. One of the consistent performers in this league at right back. As Fox just played it off of Jackson for the goal kick, and I think Fox is going to be frustrated with his performance. Too many giveaways. He and Brandon Navarro really struggle to play out from the back tonight.
I think again you have to give credit to Fresno. Their high press, especially early on, was excellent. They made it so difficult for El Paso to play out from the back. wonder whether El Paso could have had just the occasional long ball, and that's better there. So a ball up to the front players and see if you can just bypass that press.
Tonight, Fresno have had the legs the whole evening to make life difficult, even when the ball gets up top. Because you only have a minimum of 1 minute added on at the end of this match. I mean, I usually see matches, it could be 10-0, and you get at least a minimum of 3 at the end of the match.
I don't think it makes any difference really at 3-0. The game is over. It's been won by Fresno. For El Paso, it's going to be a case of sitting down and just trying to figure out how to get back on the winning trail after 3 without a win. And I can't criticize them because they've had such an incredibly wonderful season in there.
Still in the top 5.
Yeah, there you go.
And there is the full-time whistle. Fresno FC lead El Paso in the table with a 3-0 victory, up to 3rd in the live standings. And for Adam Smith, a 2nd straight victory. That man in goal, tremendous in the first half. He is our El Mexicano man of the match. Kudus Lawal with the goals in the second half that provide the distance, and it finishes Fresno FC 3, El Paso Locomotive 0.
Well done, CJ Cochran, my man. Lovely to see a goalkeeper get the award, but his 2 saves in the first 10-15 minutes were world class. Absolutely brilliant. 1-on-1 against Salgado, and a tip over from Navarro.
As we get to our moment of the match, brought to you by McCarty Insurance, the opening goal.
Yeah, lovely header from Jackson, but a great cross from Juan Pablo Caffa on his weaker foot that he very rarely uses, but when he does, it was spot on, and that was the breakthrough, and that just opened up the match. It forced El Paso to come out and start attacking. There were more gaps, and Fresno took advantage. People watching might think 3-0 meant it was easy, but it wasn't. It was a real tough match today. It was 2 top-class teams, and only towards the end did Fresno manage to accelerate away from El Paso.
The goals coming in the second half from Jackson, Grayson Lawal, and Fresno FC 3-0 winners on the night. We'll come back with full-time reactions after this.
Gracias a todos por su asistencia aquí en el Estadio Chelsea. Esperamos que se hayan deleitado con esta victoria de 3-0.
The Fresno manager, Adam Smith, leading these fans in songs after the match. They have very much enjoyed their night out as Fresno FC have won by 3 goals to 0. As we can bring you our Zoom image of the match, a tremendous shot of Arun Basulovic putting the cross in the first half. And that is our Zoom image of the match. Now, we should bring you our save of the game, brought to you by BMW. Omar Salgado in behind. And a vital early save from CJ Cochran.
Yeah, that's what makes it so important. It was the first big save he had to make, and Salgado was through. If he sticks the one in the back of the net, it's going to be a tough afternoon for Fresno. That save keeps him on level terms.
Stop by and test drive the all-new BMW 3 Series 2019 at BMW Fresno as we get to our full-time highlights. And here is a cleaner look at that chance for Salgado, running in behind, and Cochran doing very well to make that save. The pace of Salgado to get him behind is tremendous.
Brilliant, and it's the right hand of CJ Cochran that makes a save, and you're right, the big man's so quick. And then have a look at the save from Navarro. Comes out. This is an incredible strike and a brilliant save, because the power on that volley, absolutely stunning.
And then we get into the goals in the second half. Kappa for Jackson.
Yeah, lovely cross with the right foot, picks out Jackson, and suddenly we had a goal, we had a breakthrough, and the game really came to life. Bad back pass from Rebellon. Loire wins a 50-50, and then just sticks it in an empty net, and it's all Fresno at this stage.
And doing it very well. Kudos Lawal to put the pressure on. Just not nearly enough pace in that back pass from Rebellon. Trying to get there, Ketterer and retreat as well. Thought for a moment that Lawal had taken a few too many touches, but there's going to be that second goal. And here's the third. Chavez the header. Lawal on the follow.
Yeah, Jackson with the cross initially, and it's a good header, great follow-up. And at this stage, it's just all Fresno, and the stats, look at that, 27 shots to 7. There was nothing from El Paso in the second half. That's all from their first half, virtually 10 shots on target to 4. The changes made by coach Adam Smith made all the difference. And Jackson was brilliant. On Pablo Caffa was magic. And Fresno, 3-0 win. What a fantastic win. Second on the trot for them.
Third in the table now, as Phoenix are now beating Portland Timbers 2 by 3-2. And Fresno, 18 shots, 9 of them on target in the second half alone. A tremendous second half performance has gotten them the 3 points. The goal is coming, a brace from the wall. The substitute, Jackson, with the opener for Fresno FC, who, as you mentioned, Gary, have won a second in a row. They win by 3-0 on the night. For our tremendous USL crew, my broadcast partner, Gary Bailey, my name is Chris Whittingham, signing off.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.